Hello, my name is Rich White. I'm with the Greenbush Education Service Center. This is the second video in our Scratch and WeDo series, and I want to do a really brief and really simple kind of walkthrough of getting Scratch, enabling the WeDo blocks, and then creating something very simple. And I'll kind of do a very quick introduction to Scratch. And this will be very helpful if you've seen or heard of Scratch. Scratch is basically a little tool for kids to build things, to build software things, rather than like Legos is a hardware thing. It's a lot like Legos, but these are software things kids are building. And with WeDo, you can actually get Scratch and Legos to interact. So it's scratch.mit.edu. This is free and open source. You'll see this screen. You'll kind of go here and click that, fill out a few things, and then you'll get Scratch. End up with Scratch. When you install it, it looks like this. Upper left-hand corner, you'll notice here are the little blocks that help us do things, help us create things to do things. You know, we want our thing to move. Where's it going to look? Is it going to make a sound? Is it going to draw something? We'll get into those later. Is it going to sense something near it? And then how do you kind of launch it? And is it going to wait? And things like that. So some kind of simple concepts really. Software development concepts, essentially, for little kids that they can create games, for teachers that can create interactive whiteboard learning scenarios. So there's just a million possibilities with this. And we're going to do something very simple, and I'm going to kind of show you. We have a little preview pane here, so we can kind of see what we're going to get our thing to do. And if you don't like the cat, here, let me make that bigger. This is kind of our little activity pane here. Where the thing actually shows itself. If you don't like that, we can always go here and you can import an image, a regular image. You can take a camera picture, or we can paint something very simple. Here, let's paint something very simple. And I'll make this face do something real fast. Okay, there's my face. Let's go back to script. You can also make it play sounds if you wanted to. So we're going to make this thing move when we click the space bar. So we're going to drag this control. We're going to go to controls. We're going to drag this when key is pressed. Let's move our guy 10. It's moving 20 steps. And then let's point right 90. So now let's make this bigger. And then I'll push my space bar. Let's see what happens. Oh, there he went. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Okay. So that's how simple that is. Now what we need to do, we want to get something to interact with our Legos, right? One thing we don't see is we don't see any blocks here to interact with Legos WeDo set. And we know we have our sensors and our motor. First thing we want to do is let's do something with the motor. But first we've got to go up here to edit and show the motor blocks. When you do that, you'll get these little blocks down below. And you see this? You see our motor blocks. Let's create something very simple. Now, what this will not show, since I'm just grabbing the screen, this is kind of a screencast now. I'll show here in this third video the Lego component, but all I'm going to do is press the space bar and I'm going to turn the motor on for, well, let's turn it on for 10 seconds. And this is going to be very simple. We're not going to see anything in this pane here because we're not telling this to do anything. We're telling the motor to do something. But I click that, my motor comes on for 10 seconds. You'll see this is going to stay highlighted until my 10 seconds is up, and then it'll unhighlight, basically letting me know, okay, the thing's done. There, now it's done. So, the other thing we have is sensing. With our Lego WeDo set, we can now enable our sensors. And you'll notice up here, we've got this when the button's pressed. We don't want that. We want, here, let's go over here. sensor value, and we're going to probably deal with light. Well, we're going to deal with light and the tilt. With our WeDo set, we just have our light sensor, and you remember that light sensor. And you'll notice now here, let's get that one out of here. You'll notice now we get a value, we will get a value when our light sensor's plugged in. Let's say we also wanted to do a tilt sensor. So now we have a tilt sensor value, and I'll kind of show once the Lego set is enabled what that looks like, how we change these tilt sensor values, and then make the tilt and light sensor actually give us feedback so that we can, when a certain value of light is hit, we're going to turn our motor on and do some things. So that in a nutshell is Scratch, how to enable the WeDo blocks. And then kind of we're going to move on to our third video, and we're going to show you how we make our Legos do stuff through Scratch. Okay?